welcome to this week's CFSL in Shambles podcast.
Then in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce everybody here. We got David from the U, we got Wookie from Clemson, and we got our very own Cope here from USC. Today, we're going to be talking about a few things last week that we didn't talk about. We did not talk about two teams. The two teams we did not talk about, and I apologize to Tom and I apologize to Alan, but we did not talk about FSU. We did not talk about Michigan. And what a better week to talk about both teams. So go ahead. If anybody else wants to introduce themselves, go for it.
All right, I'm Dorian. You know me. I'm Dorian, aka Tim Cope, aka the reigning fan of the year. So welcome to episode 2. Sure, this time we'll be more professional.
Your dad's not coming?
Yeah, no appearance, Dad?
No.
Yo, Alan thought that it was set up, but I'm like, no, it was completely not on purpose. None of it.
It looked pretty
set up.
rigged.
Nah, it definitely wasn't. But whoever else wants to introduce themselves, go for it.
All right. I'm Josh Clayton, a.k.a. Wookie, a.k.a. the mouth and hype man of Clemson football. 10-0. I'm preaching it.
Oh, man.
Let's get it. All in.
Well, I'm the one that break Wookie's heart because I'm sure we're going to have our match. Middle linebacker for the Miami, defensive coordinator, David Ware. But, hey, I'm glad to be on this show, glad to be part of it, and know nothing but love for each and every one of you guys until we hit the field. And then I'm not responsible for the concussion you may receive after I hit you.
Well, good thing I play defense.
That goes for you, Dorian. Come in the middle. I dare you.
No, it's going to be a slant route.
I just realized we all are defenders, and Cope is the only offensive player.
I'm not going to guard you. You're not going to catch it anyhow.
Ooh.
I'm not going down that road.
It was one game. I can give you my last season.
No, I've seen a few games last year, but we're talking about this season.
2 this year.
So, anyways, David, I think you gotta.
I went in Bob Packs. Don't worry about it.
We can have a whole episode in Rose Dorian, but we're not going to do that. Go ahead and lead your question.
Okay.
David. No, David.
Okay. All right. So, Wookie, what do
sir.
you think about Florida State using their running back one this week versus the first week? What do you think they're going to do moving forward? Because both game plans obviously didn't work out. The first game plan worked, but the second game plan didn't. So, how do they balance that out?
Well, if you look at it, Lund is averaging just shy of 100 yards a game, and he has 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks. I say don't fix what's not broken. He's doing his thing. That game came down to a question all by the refs. I think FSU had that one at the end. So they're one call away going their favor of being 2-0. So don't fix what's not broke. Keep running the path. FSU is fine.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to sit there and say that you get that touchdown, it's a totally different scenario we talk about right now, and the run game is working. I think that it was just a last second in shambles. That's really what it was.
Right. All right, my man. Gonna come right back at you. Michigan football 0-2. We just beat them last week. They run the air raid.
You had to say that.
Hey, who in week 1?
Miami.
My bad.
It don't matter. It's what he's done for me lately. Hey, Clemson just beat that. Anyway, Tanner Jones, air raid offense. He has 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a fumble. What does he have to do to get back on track? Because he's killing that offense.
He has to make sure he's not getting sacked by me, the 2 sacks I had on him.
Start there.
That's kind of part of it. I think what's crazy is Michigan's got all the pieces, and I absolutely love Allen. I love the roster that he's built there. He's got a great team, but the consistency is what the issue is. They're getting 2 quarters a game, and if they can turn that to even 3.5 quarters a game, I think the outcomes would be so much different. He's right there on the cusp of making it. I think he's one of about 2 or 3 teams that are very close. But, man, I just think he just needs to keep plugging away. Just getting more consistent is going to be their thing. And I think they're going to be great.
Statistically, when you take away what you just said, the 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, like, okay, obviously Tanner Jones isn't having a great season, but let's be real. He did play against Clemson's defense. You know, I'm not saying that Wookie's good or anything, but they did play against Clemson's defense. They did play against Miami's defense, you know, but against Miami, they still put up almost 30 points. So it's just one of those things. I think they really have – their first 2 games were really hard. Is my opinion. But I do think Tanner Jones needs some help somehow. So.
Yeah, he's gonna need help, especially when he comes into the Coliseum.
He needs help with that running game. They gotta get that running game going. They can't be passing the ball 60 times a game. That's not a recipe for success. I don't care if you run the air raid, if you run a pro style, 60 passes a game, that's not gonna help you.
Who's the running back? I don't know. I'm not being rude. I just don't know.
And look at Tim. You know, Tim. They didn't use Tim the way they need to. I think they need to modify the depth chart. You know, they've got an elite wide receiver who they're not using, and I don't want to game plan for him, but I think they can move him around, open him up more, and really get some more production out of him, which would make a huge difference. Yeah. I don't think he's going to drop as maybe some other people that's in this podcast.
I mean, like watching them go 0-2. I mean, I know what that's like. So it's definitely a morale in the locker room, but people need to really come up and be big for him, because at that point you start thinking of the coaches. Is it Tanner Jones or is it the coach, right? You know, and then everybody's pointing fingers. I know I don't point fingers because Allen knows what he's supposed to do. Tanner knows what he's supposed to do. I think that they just truly played against a really good team, in my opinion.
When you said Tim Benjamin, he only has 9 catches, 147 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
91 of them came off 1 pass against us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's almost 5 catches a game. And then, you know, a touchdown a game. If they got to feed him the ball, just throw it to him. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Their defense is allowing 40 points per game or something. I mean, it's up there. They've allowed a lot, you know. I don't know exactly what it is, but their defense is definitely feeling it.
It's probably right around 40 because we had 38, and I know,
know
Miami was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to lead us into this break here, David, go ahead, buddy.
All right. Well, you guys get ready. We got In State or In Shambles coming up. It's going to be good. Lots of good questions. It's going to be fun getting you guys ready to go, getting some of y'all stirred up a little bit. So get whatever you guys need. Put some gloves on. Do whatever it takes. Let's get ready for round 2.
Did you say put some gloves on?
Stay tuned for segment number 2.
All right, you guys, here we go. We're going to do our In Shape or In Shambles. You guys saw what we did last week. It's fun. It's a way to just kind of poke at the league a little bit. Let's see what's going on. Let's determine who's ready to go, who's just falling apart. And so that's what we're going to start out with. A little intro music for it. All right. Dorian, you go first, my friend. In Shape or In Shambles.
Just let you know, Dorian and me are a team, and they too are a team. He gets to judge. They get to judge us. We judge each other. We're just going to make it work. You actually have gloves on. That is crazy. Okay. Go ahead. Ready when you are.
Ennis had 3 catches for 63 yards versus Oregon. Is he in shape or shambles?
He's in shambles. No offense. Other than the long shoes, nobody on that defense impresses me. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
All right. Wookie, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready, man.
All right. Going to LSU here. You know, you got the Youngblood brothers. Gage had a great game, 35 of 45, 333 yards, only 1 touchdown, no interception. He's kind of holding his own. But Colt at halfback, 20 carries and only 57 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns, but 57 yards. In shape or in shambles?
In shape. I mean, the Youngblood brothers, they are who they are. Where one's lacking, the other one's going to pick it up. They're both in shape, but they're about to be in shambles after this week because that Clemson defense, the ambush is coming for them, and that's just how it is. But yeah, as of right now, they're in shape. He's good.
The exhibition game, they murdered Notre Dame. And I believe that Notre Dame really held a lot back. I don't think Notre Dame showed all their cards. And that's a smart play by all means. But LSU dominated that game. We have yet to see that domination, as now they're 0-2, and they lost to Florida by a point. I mean,
I know
Hey,
that.
Florida's defense is good. Like, let's not act like Florida doesn't have a good defense. So, like Colt, and that's your number one stop. You're going to stop Colt Youngblood. That's your number one priority. You're going to make Gage win you in the passing game, and that's what Florida forced him to do. But he still had 2 touchdowns and 50 yards. I'm not going to say he's in shambles after that.
Yeah, no, I definitely give you a point for that one. I think that he is in shape.
Matt, you really had to steal my second question.
Well, that's why you come prepared.
Yeah. All right, I back up. My turn. We talked about this earlier. Okay. Tanner Jones had 4 interceptions. In shape or in shambles?
I think he's in shape. I think Allen knows how to adjust. I do.
Okay.
What?
I trust Allen, even though he didn't try and recruit me. Excuse my language.
The dude has 5 turnovers and 4 touchdowns, period.
Oh, but
He's then the negative, bro. Like,
the best defensive.
it don't matter. If you're in shape, you could can at least hold on to the ball and not turn it over. Man, I don't know about that.
all right.
They didn't give us a point. Oh, God. No.
All right. So OSU, okay. They lost Jefferson Allen. He's gone. Plug in Jermaine, and I think there was a lot of expectation of Jermaine this year. Looking at the stats of the Oregon game, 24 of 40. That's a lot of passing attempts. Only 211 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He did have 66 yards rushing, but the passing yards, that's not enough passing yards on 40 attempts. In shape or in shambles?
I'm going to say he's in shape. I watched that game. There's a lot of drop balls. And let's not act like Oregon's not a good team. They got the Longtree brothers going everywhere. They ran into a buzzsaw. Oregon was mad. They were extremely upset about losing week 1, and they took that Ohio State team. I can't threat anybody for being there. I wouldn't want to be in that position playing Oregon after the way they performed week 1.
Yeah,
I would say he's in shape. He's all right. They played up against a tough team on the road. I'm not gonna fault them for that.
Okay.
I give you a point. I'll give you that point. That was a good one.
Okay. Leo Asiata has been performing great for Notre Dame the past 2 weeks, but do you think he had 300 yards and 2 touchdowns in a blowout loss to Texas? Is he in shape or in shambles?
They don't know. I don't think they know what they're doing over there. First game they threw 60 times and barely won, and then this time they just I feel like they're just going out there and they're like, all right, guys, you go this way, you go that way. We may run a little bit. That's if it was me, I'd tell KS3 go somewhere else.
I'll give you a point. That's I hate to say, after they were almost in, they played in the national championship last year, and you expect them to come out this year, and both teams are kind of from last year's championship are kind of not really tuned in quite all the way. It's a work in progress. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely shambles there.
This team losing next week, so it's okay. This week, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hoping so. Just no controversy. That way they don't make no excuses.
Robbed.
All right. So let's go to Alabama. They're running the triple option this year. Caught everyone off guard a little bit, I think. We didn't know what to expect out of it. Lose your quarterback for 2 games. But as a triple option team, you expect Moon to really just be tearing it up. And in the last game, he had 12 carries for 84 yards. Now, 12 carries isn't a whole lot of yards or carries, but if you're going to run the triple option, your number one halfback, 84 yards, in shape or in shambles.
Moon's in shambles. The way that offense is lined up, he should be every bit over 150 yards a game. The skill set he has. They relied way too much on Barrett Adams the last 2 weeks. I mean, Barrett Adams killed it. He did his thing. But as of right now, I'm going to put Moon in shambles. He's not doing what he has to do.
I don't know if I want to give you a point or not, but this is my opinion on this situation. Get their starting quarterback back, and I think that triple option becomes a triple threat. Now it's just kind of a dual threat. The quarterback's like, but we'll see, I guess.
Barrett Adams played quarterback in high school. It's not like he can't throw the ball, and he's done well.
That huge 4th down pass conversion nearly kicked the computer.
It's not like – I don't think you can see that much difference between Siege and Adams. I really don't. I think they're going to be about the same offense. You will have that receiving threat with Adams outside, but you're going to have your 2 best defenders covering him on a passing situation, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference.
Sticking with Alabama, it's same thing goes for their other running back. Farrell Norman only has 20 carries for 116 yards. And do you think he's in shape or in shambles based on his first 2 weeks of performance?
I think he's in shape. I don't see why. I mean, you do 60 yards times 10. It's a 600-yard season plus playoffs. I think
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
All right, Wookie. Auburn against Nebraska last week, 23-20. Auburn barely gets away from Nebraska, and I think Nebraska is a great team. I think they got great potential. That could be a whole segment. But Auburn going into the season with the leadership they've got, I know they lost a lot of roster spots, but Pack was praised for his recruiting, his experience. They almost were 0-2, which makes after this week they would be 0-3 almost. Auburn in shape or in shambles?
Shambles without a question. They lack identity. I mean, their defense played better this week than it did last week, but it's the Ron Newman show on offense. They're going to go as far as he can carry them. Loki's a baller, but Newman keeps it in too much. He keeps it himself. I love the guy. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great player.
Also,
but I think they're in shambles. They need to figure out something on offense.
I'll give you 2 points for that one because I agree. I said this last week. I said that they'll be a 5-5 team. I don't think they're going to be anything special, but I know that their identity will be found. Maybe not this year, but in the next 3 to 4 years. They got Newman, they got Fowler, they got some key parts there. I think it's just molding it together. So I definitely give you some points for that.
And the thing about Newman, man, is he runs his mouth a lot. We all know he's like one.
What's wrong with that?
But no, I mean, but he and I joke around with him about not throwing more than 4 yards from the Army-Navy game. But the dude, he's got the clutch gene. Whether you like him or you don't, if a play has to be made, he makes it. When the game's on the line, and you would think he's a senior or something coming into it.
Right?
He's got that clutch. Hey, look, I've got to make a play. And he does. It's kind of like Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, you might not have liked him, but when it came down to it, he would make a play that would win the game.
Yeah.
And Newman's the same exact way. He's just got ice water in his veins when he.
At least I think.
I guess it's that time again. Until next week, we got our call out. Eric Mears, Nebraska defensive coordinator, assistant head coach. We got David here, Dorian, the great Wookie. So hopefully we get some more itch talking in the chat room and everybody stays alive.
Let's go Miami.
All in, baby, all in.
All right, boys. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.
I
Okay.
appreciate
Later, homies.
Later, home.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone who tuned in for the podcast this week. I want to thank everyone who was there. Josh, you did an amazing job today. You're a great guest host. David did a great job as well, creating teasers and stuff like that. And then I want to thank Amy, who will be editing the video right now. And then I want to thank Jojo for putting in the work and effort to making this podcast something special. Appreciate all guys. We appreciate you here. Now, CFSL and Shambles.